Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 4 of Cindy Garza, Life as a Manifesting Generator. Yay! We have officially made it to 1 whole month on YouTube, and I'm so excited because this is just the beginning. So thank you for tuning in, and if you haven't checked out the previous episodes, this YouTube channel is really about inspiring each other to follow our own path and our own excitements and our own joys. And it's about building a safe community where we can come here and talk about what we're going through, whether it be something really difficult in our lives or something really exciting in our lives, and know that when we come here, we're going to be fully supported. And it's also about being able to show up here as our whole authentic selves and knowing that that is more than enough. That is just being able to show up as yourself and know that you're going to get love is just, I'm so excited. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode, which is about self-obsession. And I say that with quotation marks because there's a negative connotation associated with that word. And I definitely understand that perspective, but I'm going to be reframing it and showing it to you from a different lens today in this episode. When we start to question our self-worth, whether that be we're questioning how we look, if we don't think we look pretty enough, or we don't think we're smart enough, or we're questioning our gifts that we have, that only, by the way, side note, that only you can give to this world. And it's such an important thing to discover. And not everyone is going to have it just drop out from the ceiling or from the heaven and just be like, yep, this is your gift, good job, get going. It's going to be about following the breadcrumbs that are more manageable. It's about which is in the form of excitement. It's about in the form of your joys. And when you start doing that, you can look back in life one day and say, okay, this makes sense. Like, I really enjoyed doing that, and I really enjoyed doing that. This makes so much sense. And, whether you discover that at age 10 or 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever, everybody's life path is different. And that's why you can't compare your life path to somebody else, because everybody's going to be on their own timeline, and everybody's going to be on their own divine timing. So, just as a little side note. So when we start questioning all these things, we start relying on these external factors to give us that worth, to give us that validation. Hence, external validation. And that can be really dangerous because everybody's going through their own things in life. Everybody's going through their own self-discovery journey, and wherever they may be at that point, you don't know. And let's say somebody wakes up one morning and they feel really bad about themselves, and the only way that they know how to is to put somebody else down to make them feel really good in that moment. And if they tell you something that's not true, but it's something that they're projecting onto you about themselves, you're going to believe them because you're relying on other people's opinions of you that are not even opinions of you. It's about themselves. It's about what they're projecting onto others. And you're going to believe them, and it's going to make you feel crappy, lonely, even more lost if possible. And I think that that's where it gets really dangerous, because you're relying on that and you're at the mercy of that. And one example that I will dive into, there's 2 examples actually. So one is the Queen, Taylor Swift. If you saw her documentary, you saw that she was having issues with this as well. She was trying to be the good girl and was relying on other people to make her feel validated, to make her feel like she was worthy enough to be there and to be successful. And then that whole cancellation thing happened, and she really had to reframe and restructure how she was getting her self-worth. And it's a journey. It's a journey for sure. And everybody, you know, at some point or another, to some certain extent, is going to go through that. And I'll give my example. I remember I was in high school. I think I was in 10th or 11th grade. And I was leaving a concert with my friends, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. And, you know, something in my gut told me not to do this, but I'm so stubborn. And I did it anyway. And I went up to somebody and I was like, hey, rate me on a scale of 1 to 10. And thinking they were going to say 10, I was like, yeah, I got that, whatever. They were like, nope, you're a 0. And I was so flabbergasted. I just like shocked. I just started crying. That was like, I didn't know what else to say. And I remember my friend saying like, why would you do that? And it really didn't make sense. But, you know, looking back on it, I can give myself that love and grace that, you know, I was in a place of emptiness. You know, I really was craving and needing that external validation to validate my worth, to validate, you know, so many things in my life. And now I can look back and see how much I've grown since then, and some things that have really helped me. And I'm gonna sound like a broken record when I start this, but follow your joy, follow your excitement. You know, I will give you another example. When I first was starting out with photography, I just was really excited about, like, my biggest excitement was being able to visualize these photo shoots, these scenes in my mind, and being able to bring them to life with photography. Like, that was to me just like the coolest thing ever, that I could bring it to real life. And, you know, I would go location scouting and I had this vision in my mind. I was like, okay, I'm like, usually like to do them in like more isolated places because I don't want to be that obnoxious person. I'm like, do it at like really busy places, whatever. But I did it at this restaurant. It was early in the morning, so there wasn't really that many people there. I sat in the corner. It was very quiet. I was not being obnoxious at all. I just had my little tripod, my little remote. I was like, just like being quiet about it. And this group of girls, one girl in particular, just like saw me, started making fun of me, like very obviously, and like pointing, laughing, talking to her friend about me. And, you know, it was definitely uncomfortable, for sure, but I didn't care because I was so excited about getting this shot that I just like had visualized, and I was just so excited that I had finally got it and it looked great. And I didn't care what she said because I was like in cloud nine with just like following my excitements and filling my own cup of worth from following them, my excitements. And it's funny because as I was leaving, they're like, oh, do you mind taking a picture of us? And in my mind, I was like, okay, I could just walk away and just ignore them for making fun of me, or I could be the bigger person and take a picture of them. So I took a picture of them, and I hope that was like a lesson for her to, you know, realize that she doesn't have to make fun of somebody else to feel good about herself, you know? And, I don't know, I guess that just kind of goes to show just how much following your own joy and excitement can really help you fill up your own self-worth and validation. Because when you're doing something that's fueled with just this magical energy and excitement and joy, you don't care what other people are saying because you are just so full of this magic that you just don't care. You're just like, I'm so proud of myself. I did this and I don't care what anyone has to say. I'm just going to share it to the world and it's going to be awesome. And that's one of the biggest tools that has really helped me. Another tool that has really helped me is releasing my identity on other external things. So there's a difference between getting it from, people, but it's also about things that are also socially acceptable, like putting your identity and your worth into your job, into a relationship, into your success. And those are also external validations because, if and when they get taken away, you're going to feel empty again, lost and feeling empty and like you have no identity kind of thing. And, as much as we want to plan and, think about our future, we really don't know what's going to happen in life. We could be planning this and the universe is going to be like, no, honey, no, it's actually going to be this, we're taking this away, we're taking that away, and you're going to go this way. And, so again, it's like taking our worth back, taking our power back, if that job goes away, that's okay because, my worth is coming from within me, not my job. My job does not define who I am. I myself am an individual, and something that really helps, this is like the third tool that has really helped me, is just reminding myself that my existence, your existence, is a prayer that is answered. At one point, you were a prayer, and now you are here, and you have so much to give to this world, and you are just so magical and couldn't be any more perfect just the way you are. You don't need anything to define you except for you, your soul. Connect to your soul. And in times of difficulty or even just excitement, just connect to your soul and just be grateful that, you are who you are, and that's all that matters. That's all you need for the validation. You're more than enough, and just keep reminding yourself that, because this is the fourth tool. The more that we become self-aware of when we're giving away our power instead of getting it from within us, or the more that we can become aware of our interactions on when we're letting others dictate how we feel about ourselves. And that is really important, to be conscious of that. So again, some tools that have really helped me are to follow your excitement and your joy. It is to release identities from and our worth, from other external things that are socially acceptable, like our jobs, our career, our relationships, our success. It's about, remembering that, you yourself are perfect just the way you are. You don't need to change for anyone. If you want to change because you want to do something else, you do it. But do it because you want to, not because somebody else is telling you how to be, how to act, or how to live your life. It's about connecting with yourself and remembering and being conscious of of interactions where you feel like maybe you gave away some of your power. And that's okay, nobody's going to be perfect. I still do it, and maybe we'll still do it, and it's not about being perfect about it. It's about being self-conscious about it and knowing when it's happening so you can be proactive and be like, oh, actually, like, I don't really actually have to give you this power to tell me how I should be feeling or looking or whatever. I'm actually good, and whatever you say that's none of my business, I'm feeling good about myself, and that's all that matters. And another tool I'll give that I just remembered is being disciplined with your self-love, because at the end of the day, it is your job to make yourself feel good about yourself. And that can be, something that I do is I have 4 things that I do every morning. I take out take out my dog. I do have my celery juice. I do my Pilates and I meditate in whatever form wants to come through. Sometimes it's writing, sometimes it's meditating, sometimes it's dancing, sometimes it's, my meditation bowls or whatever. It's whatever wants to come through. And when we start to become more disciplined with our self-love, we start to fill up our own cup in little ways throughout the day. And that goes a long way. So remember to be confident, to know that you are worthy. And if anyone says anything differently, then that's their issue, because you know that no one can change your opinion of you, and that's the most amazing thing that you can have. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we don't know what life is going to throw at us. And so when life throws a curveball, takes something away, or changes us into a different direction, that self-love, that self-worth is going to be your guide, your stability, to a certain extent, maybe you'll still get shaken a little bit from that, but, at least at the end of the day, you have that self-worth, you have that self-love that is guiding you, that is stabilizing you, that is supporting you. So, be out there, confident in yourself, and don't let anyone tell you who you should or shouldn't be, or anything, any opinion, or anything, because you are worthy, you are amazing, and you are a prayer that's been answered. Your existence couldn't be more perfect if you tried. So be yourself and know that that's more than enough. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Bye.